Hi everyone. You guys, you are the best. You're the brightest blessings I've ever seen. This Yarny community is awesome. You guys rocked. As you know, we're doing the raffle. I did the sale last night, fundraiser for Charlene. They were gone. It went quicker than I thought it would. Everybody helped out, especially with this girl who didn't know how to work the stupid Chrome for the live, but you guys helped quite a bit. Thank you very much. Like I said in my previous video, moderators were fantastic, and you guys, such love for Charlene. I can't wait to be able to send this to Sandy for her sister, Charlene. Today, this afternoon, I have been packing up bags, getting things ready so that they can be mailed out tomorrow. All of you that purchase bags, you will get tracking numbers, but don't look for them until tomorrow evening. Because like I said in the previous video, tomorrow is my day over at my embroidery shop that's an hour away. So that means 2 hours travel, and I'm probably there somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours. So most likely the bags will not get mailed out until after 2 p.m. But after that, once I get home, I will send you tracking numbers for those items that you did purchase. Now, hopefully, everyone has gotten their raffle ticket numbers so far, unless you purchased between the time I was upstairs and down here. I had opened up 110 spots, and they're filling up quickly, and I am absolutely thrilled with that. I did forget to mention in the video before that this is open worldwide. Whoever wins this bag, doesn't matter what country you're from, as long as you can get mail from the U.S., if you win this in the raffle, you will get that regardless of what country you do live in. And I hope you can hear me. Between the ugly crying and the tears, you know, my voice has gotten a little hoarse. I did get some happy mail from Miss Petra. And yes, I was able to read most of the message. But the post office got a little hungry. So obviously our post office, their machinery has a big mouse, and it needs to be cleaned, let me tell you. Because it not only took a nip out of this, took a nip out of my Crochet World magazine. But luckily all the patterns are safe. It was just the advertisements in the front that got a little messed up. I'm going to start off with the whips that I have so far. And this is a granny that I'm working on. This is Red Heart with Love in the color Echo. This was in my stash, and I decided I was going to make a granny top for me using panels. And I have a gray that I'm going to use on the sides and the top to accent this as well. And allergies are going on too. I had also started a boomerang shawl, and this is the right side so far, and it is knit. This is a pattern that's over at petalstopicot.com, and this yarn is Bernat Scarlet Sizzle. Now this was something that was in my stash. I have 2 of those that I'm using to make this shawl. And you know the funny thing is, Ollie's has it right now for $1.99. I paid $6.99 for one and got 40% off the other. So, check your Ollie's. You never know what they have in the way of yarn. One other unfinished item, whip, are these 2.5-inch squares. I was up in my sewing room and I found a shoebox full of 2.5-inch squares. Well, then when I got to the fire hall and people saw that I was working with 2.5-inch squares, since nobody likes these little piddly things, sewing them together, I received a few more. So I'm working my way to make 16 patches for a scrappy quilt, to which I will put one block of the 2.5-inch, which is a 16 patch, and then another of the same size in a plain color to make a quilt once I get done sewing the million cajillion 2.5-inch squares. And I'm telling you, when I'm looking at that bag full of them, I'm thinking, I think they're multiplying while I'm not looking. Pretty sure of it. And you know that frog or finish that I did with the beads that I didn't want to finish? It is finished. And this was done in moss stitch. You know, the one where you do a double crochet, then a single crochet, double crochet, single crochet across. Then when you come back, you put double crochet in the single, and the single in the double crochet. That's this one. I think it's either that or lemon peel. I get the names all mixed up. And then I took and did a half double crochet around the edging to finish that one off. And I was working on a scrappy granny afghan using up scraps. As you can see, it didn't matter where I stopped. I'd add in a new color just because I want to get rid of it. And you know those real big AC Moore bags or TJ Maxx bags, shopping bags? I have 2 bags full of scraps. And another one of those extra large from Dollar Tree laundry, you know, that you get in the laundry section, bags full of scraps. I think I'm going to be working on scraps for the next couple of months. Yeah, that many. And then I had a friend who asked me to make something for her kitty cat. She informed me her kitty cat had a ball that was about this big, and that's a little too big. And that's a little bit size that kitty might like. So that one's going to her. She can pick them all if she wants. And this one was done in acrylic. This one was done in either sugar and cream or peaches and cream. And then this one and this one were done in Premier one that's the cotton acrylic blend. It's done in that. Now the reason that I did them in cotton and also the plain acrylic and then the blend is because her cat is declawed in the front. She took it in as a rescue and it was already declawed when she got it. But as some of you know, some cats who have been declawed, because not all vets necessarily know how to declaw without causing a lot of discomfort to cats for the rest of their life. But most cats that are declawed, they're very picky about their litter as well as their toys because of the sensation on their paws. So I've given her a choice there, so hopefully the little kitty cat will enjoy his balls. Okay, that didn't sound right. Okay, I'm sorry, my mind went there. I'm telling you, sometimes it's difficult to be a podcaster. So, that's it for this part of the podcast because, I'm pretty quick these days about getting things, and I have 3 gazillion things to do as well to get ready for tomorrow and to be able to get those things bagged up and shipped out. So we're going to move on to What in Tarnation. Now, What in Tarnation, there are a couple of cute stories here. And we're going to start with the first one, which is a Kansas man is offering $25,000 to find him a girlfriend. An unlucky in love Kansas man is offering $25,000 reward for setting him up on a date that leads to him having a girlfriend. Jeff Gebhardt, 47, of Prairie Village, said he came up with his unusual dating scheme after some failed attempts at online dating following his last breakup. I saw the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. That is true. So I knew I couldn't go back to online dating. Gebhardt enlisted the help of some friends to create DateJeffG.com, a website that attempts to use surveys with personality analytics to find him a compatible date. People who suggest women for Gebhardt to date on the website could win $25,000 if he ends up in a relationship with their suggested woman. Women who suggest themselves on the site are not eligible to win the money, but they will be considered for dates, he said. And I have provided you a link to the story. Jeff, go to church. You might find someone that fits your personality much better there. Or even at Target or the grocery store. You never know. However, I am going to tell you the story about a friend of mine. Her granddaughter moved into a neighborhood, bought a house, moved into a neighborhood. She's about 24 years old, 25. She went online dating. She found this guy that was just wonderful. They decided to meet up. And when they met up, they live around the corner from each other. They are now engaged. And I find that rather interesting. Not only that, but they also went to the same schools. I'm telling you, stranger things have happened. Now this next story comes to us from a very interesting place. A Pennsylvania fire department shared video from an unusual rescue involving a dog spotted stranded on the roof of a building. The York City Department of Fire Rescue Services posted a video to Facebook showing a firefighter climbing on the roof of a York residence to rescue a dog seen wandering around on the outside of the second floor. The video shows the firefighter picking up the, you want to guess what kind of dog it is? It's not a little dog. Siberian Husky, and carrying it to a nearby window. The department said the dog was safely rescued without injury. I'm wondering which window was open that allowed the puppy to escape, and if he didn't escape through the window, how'd he get up there? That's my question. There is video. Links are down below. German's farmer marriage proposal spotted on Google Earth. And yes, there's a picture. Now, if you read and speak German, you will be able to read the story in its entirety in German, but I do not, so I just looked at the picture. A German farmer's unusual marriage proposal involving a cornfield and a camera drone had an unexpected side effect. It's visible on Google Earth. Stefan Schwartz said an experience helping someone else plant a corn maze gave him the idea to grow corn into the shape of the words, "Will you marry me?" in his field in Huttenberg area of Hesse. Schwartz said he waited for the corn to grow and then asked his girlfriend to use a camera drone to check out the area for a wild boar. The woman spotted the proposal on the drone's camera, turned to Schwartz, who presented her with the ring when she accepted. Schwartz said he was surprised to learn later his proposal had been spotted on Google Earth by curious internet users. He said his aunt, who lives in Canada, sent him a screenshot of the satellite camera photo after she spotted it online. Hey, Jeff, if you do find a girlfriend, now you gotta find a corn maze. This next one makes me very hopeful for people who thrift shop, and I am one of those. $17 thrift store plate auctioned for $32,000 in Britain. A porcelain dish bought from a thrift store for $17 in 1982 was auctioned for more than $32,000 in Britain. The dish, made in 1754 in Vincennes, France, during the reign of King Louis XIV, or 15th, sorry, not 14th, 15th, was purchased for $17 by Judith Howard at a thrift store in Hungerford, England, in 1982. Howard's family said she had an uncanny eye for spotting valuable antiques. She had a sixth sense when it came to finding the gems among the dross. Daughter Charlotte Howard told auctioneers Woolley and Wallace she was a magnet for rare antiques where you would least expect to find them, and the Louis XV plate was not her only discovery. The plate was auctioned this month for $32,615. Howard's full collection of plates, which also included a plate for Madame du Barry, Louis XV's chief mistress, and a plate made for Marie Antoinette's brother, Archduke Ferdinand, fetched a total $484,008 at the auction. This lady has a good eye. Judith's collection was probably the largest collection of Sevres, I don't know how to pronounce that, Sevres, porcelain in private hands, and in terms of number of pieces, certainly rivaled that of the Queen, I would imagine. William Wallace ceramics expert Claire Durham said she had unearthed some true rarities, and although many of them had suffered damage, collectors were keen to acquire some of these objects, which very rarely make it onto the open market. And I have heard that a lot of those things actually go on the black market to be sold through auctions. Let me get a drink here. Maybe it'll clear that frog. Now, you know we've had some other stories about the carpool lane. Here's another one. Driver caught using carpool lanes with stuffed dinosaur passenger. A Washington state driver is facing a hefty fine after being caught using a highway carpool lane with a giant stuffed dinosaur as their only passenger. Trooper Rick Johnson, I've heard that name before, of the Washington State Patrol said a driver was pulled over Wednesday for speeding in the high occupancy vehicle lanes of Interstate 5 northbound. The trooper conducting the traffic stop quickly discovered the driver's only passenger was a big green stuffed dinosaur toy. Even if you have a favorite stuffed animal, it doesn't count as a passenger for the HOV lane. The driver could be facing a hefty fine thanks to a law that took effect last summer that adds $200 fine to the $186 base fine for an HOV violation if a driver is caught using a dummy, doll, or other human facsimile to make it appear that an additional person is in the vehicle. Now, the state police has a hashtag for this. And the hashtag is "It Doesn't Count." There is a picture of it, and of course links are down below. Now, we love our squirrel stories for Granny D, but this one was a bad squirrel. Squirrel blamed for Pennsylvania power outage. A squirrel climbed a utility pole in Pennsylvania and knocked out electricity to about 765 customers. Todd Meyer, spokesman for power provider Penelec, said about 765 people lost power about 9:43 a.m. Monday in Granville Township and Lewistown Borough. Repair crews determined the cause of the outage was a squirrel that climbed a utility pole near an intersection and came into contact with electrical equipment. The power was restored by 10:30 a.m. Meyer said the crews installed animal protection gear on the repaired equipment to prevent a repeat incident. A much larger animal, a snake, was found to be the cause of a power outage in Meade County, Kentucky in August of 2019. Utility officers said repair crews found the barbecued snake coiled up with some equipment inside a power transformer. That is a no-no. Little critters, you need to stay out of that. Now, the next story was actually featured on Fox News, as well as a lot of news outlets in Ohio, because of the Salt Lick. You know, there's been a lot of sightings of Grassman, I think they also call it Dogman in Ohio, of Bigfoot. Well, there is video up of a Bigfoot sightings, supposedly in Salt Lick, that was done by 2 or 3 gentlemen. I think the name of their channel is We Do It Outdoors. I'm going to provide you the link for it. You know, I love me some Bigfoot. Well, I am going to weigh in on this, and I would invite you to go look at the video, put it for full screen to watch the video, and determine whether it is a true Bigfoot or not. I, for one, do not think it is a Bigfoot. I believe it is a hoax. I believe it is a gentleman that is walking around in a big size overcoat simply because of the way that it walks and the way they captured footage of it. However, there has been some sightings in this area that seem to be pretty true. And a lot of the noise, the sounds that you will hear in the background, they are considered to be Bigfoot. They are unusual sounds. It's not coyotes, it's not bear, it's not cougar. They really don't know what the sound is for this. If you want to hear the sound in the background clearer, use headphones to hear the roars that are in the background. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay, guys, have a great week, and I will see you again next week. And, yeah, remember, an act of kindness can change a person's life and or their outlook.